end. I kept on going while I saw fall all pretense, and I lost any idea of coming home, because I don't know, but I surely need to roam.
Welcome everybody to episode 5 of the Seduction Show. This is a show about love, romance, and seduction. And what we do mainly is focus on the 8 keys that will get guys out of a rut, get past the sticking point, and have the most leverage for their success. One of those keys is really talking to women, meeting new women, and the way we do that is focus on the swerve by method. I'm reminded of it as I'm here in Medellin, Colombia. I've been here for a couple of months, and last weekend I ran a swerve by event where we just went to the mall and talked to girls and really focusing on wordsmithing and fine-tuning the way guys talk and meet women with all kinds of exercises. And I was reminded of how great of a practice it is and how much I can help you most by being in person, by meeting each other. You see what I do, and I can help you correct the things that you're doing and improving them. It was great, just a great reminder for me and also for the guys that we're working with, that in vivo, in person is the best way to teach. If that is not possible, well, first of all, I'll tell you, come and see me whenever you can. If you're really dedicated to improving the way you meet women, then the best way is to come and find me where I am. Failing that, if that is not possible, then online is a good second. But that requires one thing, and that is your implementation, you testing it out, you being dedicated and committed to implementing the things that we talk about. Test them out, report back, get feedback, and improve on that. And today we have a very special guest, or who has been on the show. I believe it was episode 2, and it was the start of us working together. We've now worked for 1 month, and it's online, which means we talk with each other. And okay, you sound much better. Great. And so we work together, and we have daily interactions on Facebook. We have a Voxer group where we have instant messaging, walkie-talkie style with each other. When you say, "Oh, I'm in front of this girl and I don't know what to do. Should I do it?" And then there's motivation, there's accountability, and there's also life solutions to problems you may be running into. And then we have a weekly call on Sunday as well. And in the weekly call, we bring the stories, and we give each other feedback. It's a great way to work together, and that's why I also wanted to bring not to showcase the strength of what we're doing, of the group, and also the content, but especially also because it will help me help guys like Or and maybe you better, just to know what it is that he started doing differently this month, just to know what it is that were the main insights for him, that were the big lessons also for him. And then, so what we do today is see what he did differently, and he'll share some of his fails, some of his victories, and see the growth in 1 month. And then at the end, we'll deal with the questions he's sitting in right now, which are completely different questions than a month ago. So I'm introducing Or, and I want to say to everyone, he's a hero because he's implementing, and that's the only thing that's needed from you, and it's and it's not easy. And he's been doing it. He's been implementing the swerve by method and the missions and the feedback as much as he can. And the more he implements, the more I work with him. And he's been very big on that, because we talk practically every day right now. How you been, Or?
Hey, thank you first of all for the words. How am I doing? A bit nervous right now, just like last time. But it's part of it, I guess. Yeah, I would say I've been doing quite good. In fact, just to put it in the right context, I would say I just had a very big exam in med school, and this was the biggest exam in those all of those 6 years. And despite this stressful time of this exam, I would say this was the best time I had in those 6 years in my relations to myself and my relations to women. And seeing that in this stressful time and feeling that in this stressful time, I think it says a lot.
Uh-huh. Let's sketch for the people. Let's sketch for the people like where you were at when we met. And what I remember is you had feelings for girls, but in short, you were not having any results further than just meeting them. Is that correct?
Yes, it's correct. I was talking to women on a daily basis, and it never, I wouldn't say never, but very, very rarely I saw them again. And not because they didn't enjoy my presence, or I would say, but I just didn't know what to do next, or just I thought I wasn't. I remember I thought I wasn't creating good connection with them. And you were telling me, you told me this twice actually, also on the seduction call where I was featured, and also on calls between us, that it's not my connection, because in large parts of the stories I told you, we are holding hands, the woman and me. And I remember you were telling me you are holding their hands on the first time you talk to them. What kind of a bigger connection do you want more? So it wasn't the connection which was a surprise for me. Yeah.
So what moved the
Should I
needle
go?
then? Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it
So
that?
um, I found out with your guidance that well, that's the whole point of the swerve by probably, but I was staying there for too long. I was staying in the interaction, maybe sometimes even lets the initial spark die down. So that was one thing. And the second thing was the invitation via escalation, right? Escalation via invitation, sorry. I said it, I'm a bit nervous. So, so yeah, those points.
Tell us a little bit, because that's great. You know, the staying in too long. It's certainly something that guys I see do often, because we think, oh, I have to be funny. I have to create a better story. I have to amp the volume. I have to do all that. There's so much to create here. And so they stay in too long. And I've often said that, you know, the seduction is in many ways the art of not fucking up the attraction that's already there, you know. And by talking more, I've seldomly seen men create more attraction. What I have seen often is that they fuck it up. They're already connected. She already likes him, and then he keeps talking, and she goes, "What the fuck?" You know, I wish he didn't do that, and they lose the attraction that was initially there. You know? So that's something you. So what did you do practically? You just stopped more, you talked less, or you went away? What happened?
After or before?
Right now, in the past month, when you say I learned to, yes.
So I would say I follow the swerve by. And how does it look in practical? So I show up, express my desire, sometimes by swerving by, like really as I'm walking, I share my desire or share my experience with her, right?
Right.
And sometimes it's doesn't suit the conditions or the circumstances. So it's really like an old school proper approach. But in both scenarios, I'm leaving first. I'm leaving first. Sometimes I even saying like I was studying now for a long time, as I said initially. So I said I have to go back to study, and I go.
Nice. So you're the one who cuts the interaction short before it dies out, and that's something different than before. Right.
Yeah, that's different. That's very different. I was staying there until she is okay. Mm-hmm. I have to go. Or, yeah.
Right. It's huge, man. It's huge because and guys who've read the Swerve by they know this, but I would say it's much better to come back than to just stay. You know, that's one of the premises of why leaving is so important. It's also it's like good seduction is like fucking. You know, you go in and out. You don't stay there. When you're just in there, you know, it's not fucking. And seduction is in many ways the same. You know, it's a constant going and coming back. What it does also, one of the advantages is that it leaves a woman constantly the space to love it or leave it, which means you constantly checking. You still like this? Okay, I'm coming back. If she doesn't, you have that space there instead of what I think of a lot of the pickup material, which is like bad marketing. It's just bombarding the woman, the client, the prospect with the offer. I'm here. You know, and there's very little contribution from the woman on the other side. And my 5-star clients, when it comes to women, are women that contribute to the seduction. I don't want to be the one who's the dancing monkey and doing all the work. You know, I want the woman to be as excited as I am to talk with me. I want the woman to feel compelled to contribute as much as I do to the seduction. And then you have a kind of chemistry, you know, instead of doing a solo performance as a dance, you know, when you have a woman who wants to dance with you and who contributes to the dance, you know, who participates and contributes, now you have a real seduction. And so since that is my 5-star client, I look for that, and I do it from the first moment, which is the swerve by, which gives the woman a space to love it or leave it, you know, gives her a space to step into it and contribute to that. And so that's this whole philosophy is behind this very practical thing of you being the one who is more prepared to leave than she is, you know. And it's in the interaction, in the meeting, and I say the same thing in dating, and I say the same thing in the relationships. So for you, that was a big insight. I remember this, you know. So
yeah.
And what was the second one you said? Oh, okay.
The second one was that I didn't invite, or as you said it to me, escalation via invitation. Mm-hmm. And that was also a brand new concept. Actually, I think of one more thing that is a lesson for me. So maybe I'll talk about it after. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I didn't invite, and I was. I'd say it like this. So when I started to implement leaving first and coming back, or cutting it off before and not coming back, if it's just the condition not suitable for coming back, and inviting properly, things started to move for me. And I wasn't aware of those things, because I was, as I said before, I was talking with women, but I guess, like you said, those 8 points or blind spots, whatever. So I wasn't aware of them. And the invitation, it's so natural, you know. I would like to see you. I'm enjoying talking with you, whatever. Uh-huh. Would you like to see me again? And it's so simple when I think about it.
Right.
But it was.
So the invitation is an invitation into what? Like, because when people hear invitation, I know they're thinking, oh, you got to invite them to that. And I like that you give the example you just gave. You know?
Yeah, I would say, I don't know if I have to, I would say it's invitation to meet each other again.
Right. I think that's a great, and the way you said it is perfect. I learned this from good marketing, is that I don't lay out the offer until the woman has expressed already desire, which means I look for interest, and then I have her expressed desire, and then the details of action come. You know, exchanging phone numbers or going for a coffee right away, whatever that action is. But you first ask for her, are you interested? You know, and then by asking that question, she expresses it. And I've realized that once people express desire, you know, the rest of it, the action, the specific action is details, and people will almost never say, yes, I want to, and then not find a way to agree on the details of the where and when. Whereas before, if you would agree, or if you would invite her, would you like to come on a coffee? Would you like to have a coffee with me on Saturday that day? And then I can't then, you know, or whatever. And it's much harder. No, I'll say it this way. It's much easier to agree and express desire to, would you like to see me again, than it is to agree right there and then on a time and date. And so it's a very practical thing to guys listening. When you're inviting her, you can invite her to exactly what Ora was saying. Would you like to see me again? And she expresses it, and then you take care of the details. It's, for me, the most smooth and most successful way of inviting a woman. So great question. Would you like to see me again? I like it. So this was something you didn't do before, or?
No, I didn't do before, and I wasn't aware that I'm not doing this before. And I remember talking with you about it on our very first call, and then we dove deeper into it, and you broke it down, as you just said, about the marketing world. And there are four phases, right? You told me for setting up the whole invitation. So yeah, I started doing that, and I think this is one thing that really shifted.
What started happening when you put the invitations out? What started happening?
Yeah, so women responded well. Maybe sometimes to hear yes, yeah, let's meet up, or sure, take my number, or yeah, or even they told me in some parts, I'm not sure, I have a boyfriend, whatever, and this just putting the question there. Just putting the question there allowed more space for her to say yes or no, and I could respond to that also, and eventually maybe see her or not also. Yeah, so
that's great. I remember us 2 weeks in, and you were lining up dates, which if it happened before, not as many. You were like, fuck, I got 3 dates or 4 dates in a week. Fuck.
I got, I had I had 1 week with 3 dates, 3 different women. Never happened before. Never ever happened before. I had few more contacts, which nothing really moved on also with them, but also just coming to a point of exchanging a contact by inviting her. And then the next week also I had 3 more dates. So I would say 6 dates in 2 weeks. It never happened.
So cool.
Yeah. And I would say also, yeah.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to say more that it's not just the dates. I mean, things are moving forward also in the dating. When I'm dating the women, As you said, there are new questions and new results for me also. And
So
we set up this goal.
where are you now? Like in terms of those, I'm sure you're going to get there, but like what's beyond that? You get dates and then what? We're now 4 weeks in. Where are you at?
So we set up this goal, right, to have at least one new lover in my bed, in my life before the end of this year.
Yes.
And I accomplished it. This is still very bizarre for me, if I have to be very honest with myself and with you. So this is still something I'm letting it in. But I accomplished it. And on the weekend, I spent a very, very, very beautiful night with this woman I met. And so this is where I'm standing.
Tell her how you met her. Walk us through it in these past weeks. What happened with her? Where you met? What you did? What your invite was? What the dates were? And
so this woman, I'll say it. I don't know. I'm not. There is more than one woman. Yeah, but the one that I care the most of, or it seems she's exciting me the most, I'll talk about her, of course. So I met her on a metro station in the city, and she was coming down the escalators, and I was about to go up the escalators the other way, and I approached her, right? So I expressed my desire, and that's it. We changed contacts, and she told me actually that she's seeing someone. But anyway, we changed contacts, and we met up.
One step back. What did you say? You expressed desire? What did you say? Like, just make it more vivid.
So how did the approach went down? Is that the question?
Yeah. What did you say? Like more of the wording and what happened there.
So I saw her coming down, and I was like thinking, who is she? Because she was very, very beautiful to me. And
I got pictures. She's gorgeous.
So I turned back and I approached her. Yeah, and I don't remember what I said, to be honest. I think it was, "You are so damn cute," or something like that. I remember I called it out. I do remember that I called it out, that I feel like it is awkward for some reason. So she told me, no, it's not. I remember I told her, "Yeah, you are so damn cute." And then she tells me right on the spot, "You are cute too." And then I said, I was thinking, okay, so she likes me at least a bit. So, and then I felt it's awkward. I didn't know why. So I told her, "I don't know why, but it feels awkward to me." And she tells me, no, it's not awkward. I still don't speak very well English, which, by the way, her English improved massively in those 3 days.
So just to set the stage, you're in Budapest, right?
Yes. I'm in Budapest.
And you're not speaking Hungarian because
I'm not
from
speaking
Israel.
Hungarian. I'm not Hungarian. Yeah, I'm Israeli. So I do know some Hungarian, which actually adds some hints of flirtatious and cuteness from my side. But I don't speak Hungarian. No.
Right. So you exchanged. Okay.
She tells me, "No, it's not awkward. I just don't speak very good English." I do remember she said twice that I am cute. And I told her, I don't remember exactly, but I was leaving before. Yeah, I was leaving. And I told her that, yeah, I think I told her the same thing, that I'd be happy to see her again and if she would like that. And she told me that she has a boyfriend, or later I found out that they recently broke up. Um, which meant that she just, never mind, like, again, that was her English. Um, yeah, we changed contacts, and it moved to texting. One more thing that I learned is to keep the texting more like moving forward, setting up the date, and not just writing shit to her back and forth.
I remember us going back and forth with the texting too, because that's what I love this too. It's really like the whole philosophy of seduction. You can see it in a couple of texts, and I love applying the whole idea to something as practical as what to text next. So that's great. And then so you set up a date.
Yeah, so we set up a date. I told her where to meet me. She came a few minutes earlier, actually, which I really liked. She wasn't late. And we met there on the place. We agreed. The date was a lot of fun. And also I learned how to spice up the dates more. In terms of talking about sex, about dirty words, or trusting my feeling that something in my body signals me to touch her, and trust that urge in my body that comes up.
That's so great. There are many ways we say it. The penis never lies, for example. But guys ask, when should I kiss? And I say, if you feel the urge, if you feel, fuck, I should be kissing her, that's the right time. Because your body has wisdom. It tells you the right time, and that's the same thing. That's great. So you went on a date. You went on 1 date, 2 dates?
3 dates.
3 dates.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know. Should I tell about the dates?
Yeah, sorry, I was muted. Yeah, how did you move from the dates? How did you go from dating to seeing her in a more intimate space?
So on the second date, logistics weren't optimal for me because I had a guest visiting in my apartment. But on the second date, it just felt very mutual and natural for us to be together intimately. And it was also explicit from both of us, but also the feeling. I remember clearly the feeling. It was very intimate feeling. And on the third date, again, we met up, and I think it was.
I remember after the second date, you wrote us in the group and you said, I had a great date, and we didn't end up together, but it's going to happen, I'm sure, and you said that with such a natural confidence, and that is because you've been trusting your body, you know now. So that was great. And then the third date happened. And then what?
Yeah, so the third date happened. So we met up at this bar, which was a lot of fun. We started to get again more physical, and we moved on. And I remember I whispered in her ear that let's get out of here. And I just I want to be intimate with you and feel you in my arms. And yeah, so we just got out of there. By the way, I think another point that I kept in mind is keep the venue close to where I
Right.
live. So again, logistics.
Here for the guys listening, this is a recommendation I would say to you two and to anyone, is I would never make it that explicit. Even if it's so clear she wants it, I would never say words like let's get intimate. I would never use that, even though we know what we're, and there's something about an indirect overture that feels always more comfortable than to be blunt about things, you know. And it's not necessary. I mean, obviously it didn't really matter, but I know it's more of a masculine way to lay it out there, and so you know what's going on. But I would never do it. I think there's other ways to know that she's ready for it, and making it explicit is not necessary. In fact, in some points, guys can be too explicit, too blunt, and women will have to say no to bluntness, even if she likes you. And so, just for people listening, my advice, and for you too, or my advice is to don't make it explicit. Don't when you're on a car and you're driving home and she's next to you. You know, people say you want to come up for coffee. Everybody knows what it is. You know, right now it's Netflix and chill, I think, and everybody knows what it is. But it still feels more comfortable than you want to come over and get intimate. You know? And so it's something to understand, and that would be my recommendation for the future, to fine tune that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, certainly.
So what happened from the? So you went home and she said instantly yes, and you took her to your place.
Yeah, sorry, I was writing your words. Yeah, so we are in my place. Chilling a bit, I guess. I show her around. My dog is coming over. Yeah, we're making out. My dog is coming over again. I show her some stuff in my flat, making us drinks. And we found ourselves in the shower, having showered together. It was beautiful. And we moved to the bed after. So this I shared with you before. I don't mind saying it, but I don't think it would be optimal for me to go deeper into it. We didn't have sex in terms of penetration. We did pretty much everything else. But I think this is my next victory, would be to overcome some stress I have about it. Mm-hmm. I will say this, that although we didn't fuck in the classic term, it was a beautiful night. We both enjoyed it, I would say, emotionally and physically. Nice. It was just very beautiful, very beautiful. And she told me again that she felt so good. She felt so good being with me. Yeah.
That's great. Before we look into the future, you know, how we can, because obviously you have new questions now.
Yeah.
It's to celebrate this victory, you know. I said it a month ago. This is the goal we're going for. Get one new lover. That doesn't mean just getting laid, you know, a lover, which means someone you want to spend time with, that likes you, you enjoy the company of, you enjoy being naked together. And so it happened just because you implemented it. Just because you implement what I'm proposing is not earth shattering or you know, it's things that are basic that I figured out along the way. And I'm convinced if anyone applies it, tests it out, they will get the results. And so you did it, and consistently every day, going out there and showing up, and then course correcting every time. What's the next obstacle, and then try to remove that and getting there. And so after a month, it's we get the victory, and that's a testament to your implementation. So I just wanted to bring you on to stress that also to people. When you implement, things will happen. A lot of guys think they're committed to doing this, but they figure out that, or they find out that they're not really. But if you're willing to talk to just one woman a day, you're literally sitting on a gold mine. You can have anything you want if you're willing to do that. And so, yeah, it's great. To work with someone like you is a big reward for me, because I see it works, and I love seeing the change, the transformations that you're going through. And we have it in the surf bike KST group. We have a couple of guys who are implementing. We have a couple of guys for whom it took a while to get into action, to get the car working, but once you do, it's incredible what's possible in a very short amount of time. You said a couple of times over the past weeks, fuck, I never had that. I can't believe it. It's still like, huh? And so, great. You really celebrate your victories. And that's what I want to do with you here right now also, before we go into like what the future holds. So looking back, what do you see? How does it make you feel to look back at this month of work and see how far we've come?
So as I said, I think I'm still letting it in, because for me, it's a big thing. It's a big thing to meet a woman in the metro station, like not even the street, and spending the night with her 3 days after. This stuff never happened to me. Mm-hmm. And I'm still letting it in. Today I thought about it, and I shared it on the group. And you said now, I think you touched it briefly, that it's not about the getting laid or the sex or whatever. And for sure, it feels good. But I would say for me, it's more it's not even the sweet moments or memories or the feeling I have that I want to see her again and she would like to see me again. I know it's not even about that, but it's just really setting a goal as a man who expands and really achieving this. This is something that is,
yes,
I don't know what can I say. This is very big for me, for real. This is very big for me. And I think this is also part of the reason that I'm still not seeing it fully.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's huge, man. It's one of the 3 pillars of the way we work is your results matter, Like we do everything, I do everything I can, the group does everything they can to get you the result you need, whatever that is. If that's getting late, fine. If that's feeling comfortable approaching women, great. If it's finding someone you can marry, great too. But we agree on results and then we get them. That's 1. 2 is that we work with a lot of honor, which means we always set a context of honor, knowing why we do the things we do. What is the stand you want to make in the face of everything you're facing? Because it's not going to be easy. There's a huge mountain that's anxiety, that's fear, that's feeling not good enough, that's not having time, whatever that is, it's a huge mountain. And so as a man, you need to step into a space where you feel honor, standing for something, and that can pull you through all these hard times, face that mountain, overcome it, And the third one is leadership. And so I didn't babysit you. I didn't hold your hand. You were the one who implemented, and you were the one contacting me. You were the one reporting back. You were the one asking for my attention and feedback, and you're the one who did all the work. You're the one who stepped into the space of a leader, and going for what you wanted. And part of that is indeed setting a goal committing to it, and then do everything in your power to get it. And then you get it or you don't. I'm convinced you will get it, but it's because it's for me, the victory, it's a small victory. I'm assured that you can get it. But even if you wouldn't, if you don't get it, you play hard, you go, it's like a soccer game. I played soccer before. You give 100%, and then if you don't get it, that's okay too. So that's part of real leadership, and you really stepped into it, and it's great, man. And it's just the beginning. The car is driving. It's maybe going a little faster than you expected. Like, what the fuck is happening? But now you're on the ride. And it's great. And you could let go. You can say, where is this gonna go? You could try to direct it. It's a beautiful thing, man. You're riding a car now. So yeah.
Thank you. And I want to address your second point, and I feel like which was the honor thing, right? As a man, honoring myself, even in the calls, we honor each other, and I feel like this is one thing that really, I think this was always important for me in the terms of showing up with women, and there was something more than just talking with women. It's about, what does it say about me? And I think after I started working with you, there was some sense of, really, it's this thing that I didn't know how to put this word on. It's this honor. And I started to look at it very differently. When I go and talk with some hot chick, like, is it really about just sharing my desire, or it's really about honoring myself as a man with my stand and with my word, and yes, which is also my desire, but it's really about honoring myself as a man. And it was, I don't know, I just felt it's good to share it.
That's great, man. Yeah. So, just if you want it, I'll say this, just touching for the future, and because I know a lot of guys have this, have questions about this too, is the sexuality. And I say it very shortly because there are many books on this. There are many people talking about this. And but what I will say for you and for anyone listening is to really think of sexuality as just another way of being together. It's just enjoying each other's time together, with clothes, without clothes. It is not, and I know a lot of men, I know I looked at it this way, it is not a performance. I thought, a huge weight fell off my shoulder once I realized, it's not a performance. I'm just enjoying me, and sometimes you have an erection, sometimes you lose an erection, sometimes you come quickly, sometimes you don't come at all, whatever it is, it's just an experience of being together with this woman. And it's not that important, and it certainly is not a performance. That's the number one thing for me that I learned. The second thing is this, that I would share whatever you think is an issue right now, you would share it with her, and you make it a project of both. When I don't have an erection, I'm not saying, fuck, I don't have an erection. I say, well, girl, come on. You have a role to play in this. When I come early, same thing. Well, of course, look at you, and it's a matter of both of us now. And that's a great thing. It's not blaming, but it's saying, okay, we're on this experience of sexuality together, this being naked together, this having orgasms or not together, this whatever it is, it's not me, performing and you enjoying or whatever. It is really an experience that we have together. Now, what can we do? What can I do? What can you do to make this a great experience? And so when you look with those two perspectives at sexuality, for me at least, a whole lot of weight fell off my shoulders. It doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be rushed. It's not my sole responsibility. It's just another thing. It's much closer to having coffee and having a great conversation it's much closer to that. There's more of a qualitative or a quantitative difference more than a qualitative. There's not a huge leap there for me. And I think that would help you.
I think
right?
so too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you have time. Like Michael said, don't rush it. Don't rush it. There's no need, you could even, whatever. Because there's deeply ingrained beliefs there sometimes, and I see with a lot of men, in many ways, the fears we have with women or all of our reservations and inability to express ourselves. Someone told me that it could all come from our performance anxiety. We're afraid that we're not going to be able to perform. And so, yeah, it may take a while, and don't rush it. I also don't want to make it bigger than it is right now, by just keep talking about it. It's enjoy it. And it's an important thing for you. And a lot of guys, I see it. And when I was doing the live swerving by here, don't take yourself too serious. We don't really, in the great scheme of things, we don't really matter. And that comes for me with a lot of like joy and fun and lightness, because it doesn't really matter. And I'm not that important. Yes. Does that give you a way forward? Or?
Yes, this question also that you told me yesterday, what would I do if sex wasn't a performance? How would I act? So it definitely leads me or opens a new path that I want to explore next time. Yes, of course.
Great. Fantastic. Well, I'm looking forward to your reports. I would love some videos if you can, please. But to anyone else listening, I wanted to showcase or here a testament to when you implement, when you test out, things will happen for you. And I love working with people like him, and that's why I brought him back on. If you remember him a couple of weeks ago, so that's in the span of those couple of weeks that we made this happen. If you want to listening, or if you're on Spotify, on Apple, or on YouTube, you're listening to this, you say, wow, I would like to be a case like that, and I want to present my situation. You can do so, and if you present it well and your question is relevant, we can feature you on the Seduction Show here. There's a link with a form underneath this recording, and you click the link and you tell us a little bit about yourself and you ask your question. And if you're selected, I'll work with you for free. So look out for that. If you're interested, if you want one-on-one coaching with me, send me a message. If you want to belong to the Swerve by Case Study group, send me a message, and I'll send you the details. All right. Or I want to thank you. And this is just the beginning. The car is driving now, is riding. So hold on, try to steer it. And you'll see it quickly enough. You look back and you go, wow, we've come a long way. You already did, and there's more to come. So here's to you, sir. Talk to you soon.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, everyone. Thank you for listening. And we'll be back 2 weeks from now for episode number 5 of the Seduction Show. Thank you very much. Talk later.
This flirting tune is fading over. See that creature in me. Surely she feels the heat, his retreat. I will not chase you. Your interest needs your own. There is beauty, but I must warn you. And when you're warned, your word too. And the words come alive. And the words come alive.